Welcome. My name is Alex Levin, and we're here to meditate together after a short little preamble. Um, this is Sun and Moon Yoga Studios YouTube community online. Should I belt out the song? Oh, won't you stay just a little bit longer? So, Jackson Brown. Some years ago, before I had the luck and good fortune to meet him in person, I read an article by T.S. Little. He's a renowned yoga teacher, fabulous yoga teacher, living in New Mexico, I believe. And the article was in Ascent magazine, and the gist of it, a short article talking about how the importance of he comes from, in large part, the Iyengar tradition, or studied in that vein for a long time. And he talked about how in asana, the holding the poses as they do in Iyengar yoga, holding them, how we meet our edge, how when you're holding and maybe you're there 6 breaths, 7 breaths, maybe at 20 breaths, your mind starts to wander. Maybe at 24 breaths, you give up, you get out of the pose. And maybe you don't even really aren't even conscious why you did. You just, maybe you got bored, maybe you got fatigued muscularly, maybe you were distracted, and it could be a number of things. Eric Schiffman mentions these same things to watch for. And these people I'm mentioning are just dear, dear influences and inspirations and teachers who live in my heart, their teachings and their beings. So when we meditate, I've been talking about a similar thing. When we get to that edge, when we get to where that comfort zone, that's inner circle sphere, and then we come a little bit out of that comfort zone in the next layer around the sphere where we are um, stepping outside that, being still, asking of our nervous system to do something that is not our habit, not our tendency, not the tendency of especially the old reptilian brain, mind, security system of our body, mind, being that needs to protect us. But in many cases, it is on overdrive. And on this spiritual path, if I may call it that, the word spiritual tends to be very loaded. When we come to realize that we're out of balance, that we're overwhelmed in some way, or that we're down a path and that we are doesn't serve us anymore and it's time to change, it feels a little bit like we need to swim upstream to do that. And I'm guessing it's more like we just need to stop holding on. We just need to stop paddling so hard and realize maybe just let the current turn us around and just flow with the stream. That will require some steering, will require some attentiveness, but so much less effort and truly letting go. So won't you stay just a little bit longer? Last week, I was enumerating, I thought I had 3 points of what's the benefit of coming to this edge, of sitting in this stillness, of moving past this comfort zone. And you can probably list many things for yourself, and that might be a worthwhile practice. And I forgot the middle one. And as I've been trying to reconstruct that this week, so the middle one actually really relates to the first one. So there really are just two. The first one was that we get clarity. We get clarity. We get to see, and in that clarity, we come to see how things like how we're reacting, what choices we have. And the one that I forgot, the aspect I forgot, is something really has been so instrumental for the last couple years. It's untangling. I was going to title this No More Tangles, that product from the hair product. They still have it. Johnson& and Johnson makes that No More Tangles hair product. No more tangles when we get still and we let the mud settle, the mud from the muddy water settle, we can see the two distinct things that were there, that the silt particles are all in one place and the water is clear. And maybe we see the light, so we just get to distinguish, we get to discern. And how this helps us, the exercise one of the early exercises a couple years ago that was given by Russell Delman, one of my primary teachers now, was to ponder in this practice we do called focusing, to ponder and hold in our mind, heart, body, a situation when we felt unsafe. We did that for a bit and processed that. And then we processed a situation, a memory, as in bringing it back to Technicolor real time. A place we felt, a time, a place specifically that we felt uncomfortable. And it was so interesting doing these two to see that possibly often these two get intermingled, get tangled, so that what is uncomfortable registers in our body and our nervous system like unsafe. And vice versa, something that's unsafe can sometimes just register as uncomfortable. And both of those interpretations, when those are intermingled like that or confused, can have us choose a response that doesn't really help us in the long run. So perhaps as I am speaking, let's just take, before we take our meditation, and as you've been listening and getting ready for the practice, perhaps you're already settling into your body or settling into the ground. Perhaps you're not. Perhaps I've got you up in your head. So actually, let's take a few moments to settle into your body, to settle into the feel of the ground, to settle into where support is present. And you don't need to quite set up your accurate meditation posture just yet. Just start to slide into sensing the insides of you, the heartbeat, the feel, the knowing of the pulse circulating throughout the body, the rhythm flowing through your entire body. You can close your eyes. And you might choose, your own wisdom may take you. I'll give you some suggestions, but you might choose, having heard those words, you might choose to go to a place that feels uncomfortable right at this time, or something that came up from your past, but bring it into the Technicolor of now, all the sensory sounds, smells, colors, names, tastes, feels. Or you might just choose what is needing your attention right here, right now. We'll just do this for about 2 more minutes. So just stay with that as if it's living in your body, and if it's too much to handle, create the distance you need. If something comes to you that's jarring and goes past that comfort zone, way past it, place it outside, maybe in a box or in a crate, a dog crate, or over far across the river from you, but connected in attention, as if you're just watching over it and you're connected by that history, by that feeling. Just to feel right now, not going to solving, untangling. That's not our job. Our job right now, especially, entering meditation is just to notice as this has come up. And if you find it's way too difficult, try something easier. Try something that's just a little annoying or a little confusing. Or as I said, whatever, maybe it's a physical pain that is calling to you. Whatever needs your attention. And is there a corresponding, I'm motioning with my hand, in my body there's a shimmery tension in my upper back. Often a little combination of words that makes it more very, very specific to how it's appearing right now is super helpful. And then even stating what's next. Now there was a big billowy breeze of breath that came into that shimmery tension. And because this is just a little taste, now you can just thank your own wisdom, your own body, mind, spirit that knows this, that has kept this information locked away for you for just the right time to revisit. And just file it away, or I kind of inner file, knowing that you can so easily, you can come back just like this anytime. And then just transition. We're already in this different brainwave state. Transition now to making sure your meditation seat or posture, maybe you're laying down, maybe your legs up the wall, that it is indeed very comfortable. And if something like this memory or needful thing or anything else that comes up during meditation, you can give it a momentary welcome, and sometimes a little longer, and then we'll come back to where I'll guide you toward more of an ungrasping and a letting go of those things, even as they are, not to discount them or disregard them, but just to put them aside for now. We begin with a bell and a bow. And in this, when I do this, as I'm holding the bell, I'm bringing one hand to the prayer hands posture, even though one hand will be missing, ringing the bell. Getting the posture just right is this recognition of relationship of body, my human body to the earth body, to gravity, to space. So just mark with your attention lightly the parts of your body receiving touch of the cushion, the blanket, the carpet, the floor, the concrete, the dirt, all the layers of earth toward the very molten center, your direct root. More and more as we're practiced, this seat, this place gets available quickly, but also don't short shrift, because your body is new today, right this moment. You may feel then with that rootedness, the opposing force of uprightness, of levity, gravity downward and levity upward. The vertical beam of the cross. And just let yourself relax into being held by this vertical, invisible but very palpable beam. And relax the scalp, the eyes, the shoulders. The open rib cage around the heart. Around the diaphragm muscle, the upper belly, lower belly. Around those foundational bases of the pelvis, the bones there, upper legs, tail, the sacrum. Let the breath help you relax and stay with this vertical beam. Relax the belly some more as you are conscious of the placement of hands. That rich feel of touch through the hands and fingers. Conscious of the breath. Notice your eyes, and I choose usually to start out eyes closed, and then I just very slightly open my eyes to practice this soft but unfocused gaze. You can certainly choose eyes closed. And so we've got ground that check in with the body and the vertical beam, gravity, earth. We've got breath, the second leg of my mantra. As we hold still easily, breath keeps moving within us, keeps nourishing us. Along with the heart keeping us going while we more and more let go, let go, let go. And the third leg, the last, and they don't have to be in this order, is the opening up the horizontal beam, like the arms as if outstretched, but don't do that just now. Just stay with your stillness. Arms outstretched and reaching out to infinity, Receiving back in. That plane that opens us up to sound, space around, to all that we're connected to. In that direction. And here, can come back to those portals, those anchors, ground, breath, sound and space around anytime. As we simply stay, relax, take that backward step, that release of the hand of thought, the ungrasping, that view prior to all the ways we think of ourselves. That relaxing into pure awareness. There's nothing that we lose, everything, all the things are still here. We're just sinking into that prior identity, that source, that infinite void, and source of everything created. Any thought, any sensation, any form that enters your consciousness here, it's fine. No need to wrestle with it. Just take a step back. Take a step back. Gently, gently relish any tastes of that true self identity, that boundless, infinite, timeless being. Relish, but don't grab those either. Or if you do, notice that. As we end with a bell and a bow again, even if you have to be somewhere in the next few minutes, take a conscious moment to shift from where shift from where you are now to shift gently, quietly. The transition is important. It's huge. That moving from meditative mind state, different brain waves, different thing, and more we'll be able to quickly move as we practice from different states right back into activity. All the recognition is what's helpful. So we get clarity and lots of benefits from clarity. Maybe just let your homework be to see what what those are for you. And the other thing we get is to sink more and more deeply into what is our true nature. That is beyond all form, prior to all form, and the source and return to point, the home of all form. Thank you so much for joining me. Enjoy what's next for you and see you back here, and check out sunandmoonstudio.com for all our community offerings. Ciao, ciao. Peace.